Good morning, everyone. I'm Shannon Murray, and I'm principal at Merrill High School, and today I'm going to talk to you about virtual learning. If you're watching this video, you're either considering it, signing up for our full-time virtual learning for the rest of the first semester for the 2021 school year, or you've signed up, and this is kind of your getting started orientation to virtual learning. So virtual learning here at Merrill High School is a result of the COVID pandemic that we find ourselves in. And the school year started with a virtual option, which is our Bridges Virtual Academy, which is our district's virtual school. And it's a very excellent one, and it's one of the best in the state. And so students and families had that choice from the get-go, as well as attending face-to-face at Merrill High School, or doing a hybrid mix where you would attend one day physically and the next day virtually. And so those were the kind of the three choices. As the school year has evolved, we've had more and more families that are committed to face-to-face learning or hybrid learning here at Merrill High School that have decided that they would prefer a virtual option while remaining enrolled in Merrill High School. And so we have stepped up to meet that need and created a program that we think addresses that and is going to be good for our students. Now, I want to stress that Merrill High School is not a virtual school. We are a face-to-face brick and mortar school that is providing a virtual option for our students. And so the solution that we have, we think is very good, but it's an alternative to our face-to-face instruction. And so the model that we're proposing has some virtual components, still remain, has some face-to-face components that are just necessary here in a school like ours. And it kind of combines those two things to meet the needs of those kind of students. So let's take a look at the specifics of it in just a second. But one thing I want to stress is that if you are entertaining the notion of a virtual program for your student while at Merrill High School, I need to stress that everything that they do still matters. Their courses will be graded. They will have transcripts. If they struggle, if they fail, those are permanent things that just as they would be in our regular school setting. So it's important that people weigh their choices and make this decision carefully, because virtual learning is not for everyone, and it requires a certain degree of responsibility and independence and self-advocacy to be successful. And so if you are deciding to do virtual, please keep that in mind, and remember that each and every day counts just as it would at Merrill High School. So let's take a look at what it takes to be successful in a virtual learning environment, because it's very different from what we have been used to in the past. And what we're offering is very different than what we did in springtime when COVID first struck. And so here are some tips to be successful as you go through the rest of the semester in a virtual learning environment. The first thing is, remember, you're still going to school. You're still being a student. So all the experts, all the literature says, start the day off right. Treat it like you're going to school. Get up, take a shower, get dressed, have breakfast, do all the things that you do normally to get yourself ready to school so that you're in a school and learning mindset as you start. Then, of course, follow your schedule. The school day starts at 7:50. If you have a class first period, follow your schedule. Be on time to your classes. Log into the Google Meet stream and be on time as a student at Merrill High School. It's also very, very important to get and stay organized. We would encourage you to have a calendar, set reminders for yourself, those kind of things, so that you can stay on top of what's expected of you in this learning environment. We'll talk a little bit about FlexiSched in a little bit, but pay attention to FlexiSched, because that's the key to all the face-to-face components that are required in this process, so please pay attention to that. You're asked to be an active learner. Don't just log in and shut your camera off and sit there passively. That is not what you would do in a regular classroom. The expectation is that you are logged in a live stream, that you are participating, that you are asking questions, that you're paying attention to what your peers are saying. All those things are very, very important to be successful. And then lastly, study with peers or in small virtual groups. There are some reservations about people being in isolation for too long of a period of time, and virtual learning can enhance that. And so it's important to connect up with your peers. Set up a Google Hangout on your own. Meet with your friends in a socially distanced, acceptable manner. Whatever it takes for you to still have those interactions, and preferably if you can find somebody that's doing the face-to-face thing, so you get that perspective as well. So if you do those things, all those things combined will help you be successful. So now let's talk about how this is actually going to work. So if you're interested in virtual learning, and if you've signed up, or if you've signed up for virtual learning, there's a couple steps. The first thing is to sign up. And so if you go to your Family Access account, there will be a form there called Virtual Learning, Merrill High School Virtual Learning Sign Up Form. You read the form, you sign up on all the different components of virtual learning, have the student electronically sign, and then you submit that form. Once you submit that form, you are eligible to start virtual learning right away, the next day, the next school day. And so that's a very simple process. We do a lot of things on family access here, and so that process should be something that's very, very manageable. So you sign up for it. The next day you start the live stream, you attend all your classes. I'll get to some of those specifics in a second. And then you start watching the face-to-face components that you are expected to still participate in, such as tests that have to be proctored face-to-face, coming in for science labs, coming in for tech ed labs, and those kind of things. And so sign up for it, and then you start essentially right away. Once you sign up through Family Access and hit submit, very shortly after that, you will be invited to participate in a virtual learning Google Classroom. Our students are all familiar with how Google Classroom works. This is kind of a clearinghouse, and this will be kind of like your new advisory. This is where you'll get information on announcements and things that you have to know to be engaged in school. You'll also see the link up there, the video link that's in all of your Google Classrooms for the Meet Hangouts. All of your classes have that. You follow your schedule, you start that stream. And we're going to use that Google Meets link also as a way to kind of stay connected with the virtual learning students. We're going to have little town hall meetings and those kind of things to kind of check in and see how things are going. So the first order of business for you is to sign up. You'll be invited to the virtual learning Google Classroom. Sign up for that right away. So you've signed up through Family Access. You've gotten invited to the virtual learning Google Classroom. You've started doing the streaming, the live streaming for all of your classes, and you're following your schedule, and everything's going along just great, and the streaming is working just fine for you. Now we've got to get to this part where sometimes, once in a while, you're going to have to come into Merrill High School to actually do some face-to-face things, tests, science labs, things in tech ed, things in art, the things that we need to see you for that there is no virtual replacement for here. And so here's how that works. We've used a program here called FlexiSched, which is kind of an activity scheduler. I have that on the screen up there. I realize our freshmen have no experience with this, so we're going to have a little FlexiSched training video coming up. But it's very simple. Virtual students will be invited to FlexiSched. On Thursday, teachers will put in the activities that they need to see students for the following week. Starting Friday morning, our virtual students will be able to pick those activities. And so I have a little screen capture here of Mrs. Milanowski's potential activities where she's got an English 12 Unit 4 quiz going on and an English 11 Unit 5 quiz. You will see as a virtual student in FlexiSched all of the opportunities in the building that are taking place next week. Your job is to find your teachers and sign up for the things that you need to be here for. If you have to come in for a test or if you have to come in a lab, find your teacher. All you do is click on the box that you need and away you go. Then it'll build a little schedule for you, so when you come in on Monday or Tuesday or whatever day it is, you can report to school and get those face-to-face activities done. FlexiSched is very user-friendly. It's easy to use. Our freshmen will be pros at it very, very shortly. So watch for that training video to come up. But this will be the way that we reach out to our students to coordinate those face-to-face activities. Now remember, you'll only be doing face-to-face activities during our 3-7 lunch period from 11:14 to 12:47. Those are the only times that you'll be coming into school, and you will not be doing that every day. It may be once a week, maybe no times a week. Some weeks it might be twice. But the goal is to have you in a situation where it's where you're relatively isolated, you're not coming into contact with a lot of other students, in a set time where teachers are available, our proctors are available. So the only time you will come to Merrill High School during the school day is occasionally during 3, 7, and the lunch period from 11:14 to 12:52. So you've gone through the live stream, you're attending your classes virtually, which is great. Now you've gone into FlexiSched and you've scheduled your activities that you have to come in for face-to-face for next week. It's time to come on into school. When you do that, park in the student parking lot like you'd always do, enter through door 12 like you'll always do. If you're dropped off, make sure your parents drop you off on the east side of the building, the J Stadium side. Enter into the school. Go right to the PLT spaces. That's going to be kind of our our learning lab for virtual courses. Everything will be waiting for you there, whether it's a test or assignment or whatever. If you need to go to a different place in the building for a lab, a science lab, go to the tech ed, go to the fab lab, you will be issued a pass. And then when you're done with that activity, you return back to the PLT space where attendance will be taken on your way in and your way out. And then you just simply exit through door 12. And then your face-to-face learning activities are then done for the week. So that's what things will look like when you actually come into the school face-to-face. The goal, again, is, of course, to maintain your social distancing. Those spaces will not be crowded with students. You'll be coming in during non-passing times, so you won't have a lot of contact with students. But given that, it's important that you kind of do the right thing and follow the flows that are expected, so that we can honor your request to keep contact with other students limited. So it's come in, do your thing, and then leave through door 12. Don't hang out in the lunchroom. Don't go visit other teachers. Can't go visit your friends. You are making a decision to do virtual learning, and we're honoring that. So we need you to please do your part as well. So remember, there's a couple things that you can do to make this really, really successful for yourself, because it's school and it counts, and it's going to be on your transcript. So one of the first things you can do is communicate. Communicate with your teachers. Communicate with me, your counselors. If you are having issues, you've got to let us know. Whether it's Wi-Fi issues, technical issues, academic issues, whatever the case may be, please communicate that with us so that we know what's going on and we stay in touch. I would also encourage you to participate in the Google Classroom, the virtual learning Google Classroom town halls that we'll have. It'll be a great way for us to share information and stay connected as a group, because there's going to be a lot of students that are doing this, and I think it's important that people stay connected. I also want to make sure that people advocate for themselves. As a virtual learner, you're pretty independent, and so you need to speak up if you are having issues. And also, and most importantly, be a student from 7:50 to 3:20 Monday through Friday. That's the goal, because it's still school, and it's a way for us to honor your requests in a COVID pandemic. But you got to be a student from 7:50 to 3:20. If we can do those things, this will be a very successful opportunity for you and a good experience for you and for us. And that'll get us through the end of the semester, when we can kind of reevaluate the effectiveness of this virtual learning program. So today is Thursday, October 15th. We hope to send this video out to people today or tomorrow, the 16th, and sign up will go live right away. Once you sign up, you can start as early as Monday. Start the streaming. We will change your attendance and your coding, and you can start the streaming right away on Monday, October 19th. The face-to-face component won't start till the following week. That'll give us some time to get things together on our end and get things set up. And so watch for that first FlexiSched sign up to go out Thursday of next week. And again, face-to-face things start right away at that time on the week of the 26th. We ask that people sign up between now and the 23rd for virtual learning so we can plan and get people set up accordingly. So please sign up between now and Friday the 23rd if you plan on doing virtual learning. So there you have it. That's our virtual learning model at Merrill High School, how to get enrolled, what it looks like face-to-face, everything you need to know in order to be successful. So if you're interested in signing up, please do so between now and the 23rd. We'd like to get you squared away and in that funnel as soon as possible. If you've already signed up and are looking at this video as kind of your starting point, we're happy to have you. And again, please stay in contact with us. Stay on top of your classes. Everything you do counts. And this is still school, so please work very, very hard to get the most out of this experience.